Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. A few days ago, I was doing as I do and scrolling on Reddit trying to come up with ideas for content, and I was reminded of the fantastic subreddit called Just Neckbeard Things, which is a place, it's kind of like Nice Guys, but like a little bit different. It's like Nice Guys adjacent. And we haven't taken a peruse here for quite a long time, so I thought that we would check in and see how these neckbeard men are doing. And before we do get into that though, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Ben. I appreciate you and your support so much, so thank you so much for joining. And if anyone else would like to become Patreon, go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description, and I appreciate it greatly. But yeah, let's get into the beautiful posts in the world of neckbeards, which is just nice guys, really. That's kind of what they are, like incels is the vibe. So buckle up for that, because it's always a fun time. This is an ad on Craigslist for a hot tub. Hot tub nightly rental. Women only. Bring your group of girlfriends for a night of peace and tranquility. Fits 3 to 4 very nicely. 100% private and secure. Do what you want as you want. As little clothing as you want allowed. Smiley face. In town Marion, but no one else around. Quiet 20-acre piece of land. Bring your tunes and booze and have fun. Gated entry, chemicals checked daily, no guys, no fatties, etc. What? That's so creepy. That's so creepy. Like renting out your like spa pool in your back garden. Being like, you can just use it for the night. It's nice and private. You've got just the pool for yourselves. Wear what you want or don't want. Bring your booze, bring your girlfriends, just have a nice private night. But then also being like, women only, and you also have to be attractive to me. So are you just gonna like peep through your fucking window the whole night? Or are you planning on like joining them in the pool? Because if you're planning on joining them, that should definitely be specified in here. Like what? You should definitely specify that. I mean, you don't even have to specify that you're going to be standing there and creepily watching them, because that is very heavily implied. But bro, what the fuck? Imagine just thinking that this is a good idea. One, imagine thinking if people are going to reply to this. And two, imagine like having a spa pool and being like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get some attractive strangers in here and just stand in the corner and stare at them while they sit in the fucking spa pool by themselves. Like, bro, you're out of your mind. What is wrong with you? Just walked past a liberal feminist rally and had 3 attractive women run after me and ask for my digits. I pointed to a purple-haired obese man wearing a Fortnite shirt and told them he's more their type. They got really upset and left the rally crying, really sad. And then everyone clapped. Out of all the things that didn't happen, this is the thing that didn't happen the most. Sir, you cannot tweet something like this and expect anyone to believe you. Because, no, like you can't even try to pretend this happened, because there is not a world in which this would have ever taken place. You know, there's an infinite number of universes, and in none of them did this occur. Fucking, I just realized his username has alpha male in it. He's Jake Matz, alpha male. You can't call yourself an alpha male if your username has this many numbers. Met25465900. So like, you're what? You're not even 1 of a kind. You're not even 10 of a kind, 100 of a kind. You're what number is that? 25,465,900th on the list of people named Mets. You shouldn't be 25th million in line. Am I the asshole for letting my crush know that her tattoo is a turnoff for me? Yes. Yes, you are. I don't even need to read the post to be like, Yes, you are. I am a 15 male grade 10 student. I have an older brother, 23 male, and he has a friend, not a girlfriend though, named Marika, 23 female. Everyone just calls her Marie though. So basically, I've known Marika ever since I was a baby, and she's always really nice to me. I know that she's too old for me, but I think she's cute and sexy and all that. I have a crush on her. I know there's no way of it working out, but I can't help the way I feel. This past May, my science class went on a field trip to our state college, which coincidentally is where Marie is doing her master's degree. So I know that this was really bad and I shouldn't have done this, but while we were on the field trip, I decided to pay Marika a surprise visit. She lives in an apartment literally right next to college, so it was easy to check in with her. So I snuck away from my class, crossed the street, and went out to her apartment room. I knocked on the door, and luckily she happened to be there. So I said, "It's me!" and Marie opened the door for me. She was so confused and surprised about me being there, and I think I just caught her off guard. It was kind of awkward, to be honest, and she looked like she didn't really want to see me. I mean, yeah, she's a 23-year-old woman, and her friend's 15-year-old brother just shows up at her house. I'd also be slightly taken aback and confused, personally. This is where the title of this thread is now relevant. Marika was wearing a tank top, and I saw that she had a 9-inch nails tattoo on her shoulder blade. I don't like tattoos. At all. So I was kind of disappointed to see that she had one. So before I left, I accidentally ran my mouth and told her that her tattoo is a real turnoff. These were my exact words. Marie just got really offended. She let me know that she didn't get a tattoo to turn anybody on. Marika also told me that it's super inappropriate for a little kid like me, yes, she actually called me a little kid, to tell her about turn-ons and turn-offs. She told me to get back to class at the college before I got in trouble. So my visit to her apartment went so much worse than I wanted it to go. Okay, so to state the obvious, if you're 15, don't go running off from your class trip to go see someone. Don't do that. Bad. Also, bro, 15, you know better. You know better than to tell someone that something they do with their body is a turn off to you. And also, you surely know that that is inappropriate as well. You acknowledged that the age gap is there and it's not going to happen, so you know that that's an inappropriate thing to say. How are you here asking if you're the asshole? When the answer is so obviously clear that yes, you are the asshole. And yes, you are a child, but also you are a child who is old enough to know better. Seeing someone with a tattoo and being like, that's a real turn off for me. Gross. Keep it to yourself. To have the entitlement to say that to someone, especially an adult when you're a child, is unreal. This is a comic, which we always fucking love. Comics, don't we? It's two people in a gym. It's a woman who is wearing tight shorts and a tied up crop top, and she's doing a pull down weights thing. And it's important to note, because this is important to the comic, she's leaning so that her back is arched and her ass is sticking out, because that's how you do this particular exercise. Anyway, she says, "Hey, want to help me lift today?" And this man says, "Sure, want to go out this weekend?" And she replies, "Oh, that's sweet, but I only see you as a friend." And then he walks away, and she looks shocked and angry and yells at him, "You mean you've only been using me?" And he puts his headphones on and walks away and pretends he can't hear her. And for some reason, we are meant to be on his side. We're meant to be hell yeah, bro. Put on your headphones. And it's meant to seem hypocritical. She's "You mean you've been using me?" Because he, in his mind, is well, yeah, no, you've been using me. You've been getting me to help you, and you won't even go out on a date with me. They're not the fucking same thing, bro. If you are nice to someone, they don't actually owe you anything in return other than, their gratitude. That's it. You respect someone, the only thing you earn is their mutual respect. That's all you get. Going into any sort of interaction with anyone, the only thing you should really expect is to have respect. And if you help her, she'll help you if you need it. That's it. You don't deserve anything else. You aren't owed anything else. And it's so fucking ridiculous that it's oh, I was a nice person and you don't want to date me? Well, now I have no interest in you because you took advantage of me. No, she didn't. She was just I don't know, treating you like a friend, like a person. Traveling to Japan tomorrow and have a question about the females. Hello, I'll be arriving in Tokyo tomorrow and I would like to ask something. This, of course, isn't the main purpose of my trip, but I was wondering what is the best way to find a single female Japanese female? Like, what locations are the best place to find them? Also, what is the best place to take them on a first date, and what kind of gifts do they enjoy? I'm traveling from the States, so I would greatly appreciate any information from those who have a Japanese girlfriend themselves. Thanks. Just like go to Japan to be in Japan and have a good time in Japan. Tokyo is great. Go enjoy Tokyo and leave the women alone. Like, they don't want you. Leave them alone. And the generalization, like, where do I find women? What do they want? What kind of gifts do they want? Where do they like to go? That is an individual preference. And you lumping every single, like, Japanese woman into the same circle, being like, they all like the same gifts, going to the same places, and they all hang out together. It would be so easy. What do I get a Japanese girl? What do you get any other, we're all women with our own individual desires and like interests. It's not a cultural thing. Maybe just leave the women alone. Maybe people should stop going to Japan because they fetishize the people that live there. And I know it's like, it's not the primary reason for the trip, but I like kind of doubt you now, honestly, because like, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Stop it. What game companies think gamers want, and I don't know the name of game characters, but it's just like a woman who is like not conventionally attractive, like flat-chested and has more like masculine features than like hyper feminine features, and then what gamers actually want. And it is a woman who has like impossibly large boobs, like a small waist and then like wide hips, and you know, it's just the epitome of men over-sexualizing women. And I think the response here is that like gaming companies aren't designing women for you to sexualize. They are designing a game. That's it. They're not designing women for you to sexualize. They're just designing a game with a story to tell and things for you to play. And like this character on the left, the one that you don't like, is just what some women look like. And can you play the game successfully as this character? Yes. So then there's no issue. The game doesn't exist for any reason other than to play the game. If you want to play a game with the other character that's over sexualized so you can just like ogle at her, then go play that game. You clearly don't give a fuck about the storyline. Go play games that appeal to you. You don't have to play everything. Like, you just don't. So like, fuck off. This is a text conversation. Hi. Hey, who's this? Clears throat. It's Brandon from class, sweating profusely. I think you got the wrong number, haha. Looks down at the ground, twirling thumbs. Shannon gave me your number, sweating emoji. That's cool, but you have the wrong number. I'm a 25-year-old man. Come on, it's Brandon from Econ. I asked Shannon for your number. Let's hang out, smirk face. Hand itching to unzip pants. Brandon, you have the wrong number. I am not a woman. I literally have a mustache. Then he sent a dick pic. And then the other person sent a photo of himself, a mustached man, and says, oh, you poor, poor man. And Brandon replies, no. I am just astounded. Like, I would love to believe this is fake, but I unfortunately believe that it's real because I've seen too many messages like this that actually exist, and it's like speechless. I have no words. In what universe would this ever work? The like doing actions of the like looks down at ground, twiddling thumbs, and then the stutter in text is fascinating. It's fascinating. I don't know who taught you to do that, but like, don't. Don't. It's so like cringe. I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't often say that, but it is. That's really the only word I can use. Is it's just so cringe. Like, I would burst out fucking laughing. And then you go to hand itching to unzip pants after just being like, let's hang out. Hand itching to unzip pants is an unhinged thing to say regardless of anything. But like, they've given you nothing other than like rejecting you multiple times. And then you send a dick pic. If someone's telling you wrong number, firstly, fuck off. If they're telling you no, also fuck off. Never send and they wonder why they're single. They wonder why they're stuck in a male loneliness epidemic. You're doing it to yourselves, guys. Like, just stop this shit and like talk like a normal person and you'll be fine. Am I wrong for canceling my order at this coffee shop? I was at this coffee shop and the cashier was really pretty. She had a cool anime tattoo also. I was gonna get some coffee and a donut and I said, hey, I like your tattoo. What's your favorite character from that anime? She kept a straight face and she just said, how can I help you? I then said, I really like anime too and I just wanted to see what shows and characters you liked. She still showed no emotions and was just like, sir, do you want anything? I just said, actually I did, but you made me change my mind. Bye. And I walked away. I didn't want coffee anymore after that. I was trying to be nice and get to know her and she was acting like that. She was just doing her job, man. Like, you're not entitled to a conversation. She's busy doing her job. She doesn't want to talk to you. Just accept that and carry on. She doesn't owe you a conversation. Like, if someone doesn't want to talk to you, then like get over it. Just fucking deal with it. Like, I am not someone who understands like going up to someone and like starting a conversation so abruptly like that, especially when someone is working. Like, I think you can start the conversation with something like, oh, I really like your tattoo, then see how the response goes, and then you can build on it from there. But if you ask a question and it's quite a big question and then you carry on without an answer, that's obviously not going to work in your favor. And storming out afterwards and not wanting a coffee anymore is a slight overdramatic. If you've been rejected from a conversation, just carry on. Be civil. Get your coffee, because like, it doesn't have to have the power to ruin your day. This person got this DM and I would like you all to guess what they said to warrant receiving this DM. Fat ass boomer, go kill yourself, you disgusting pedophile, 4 vomit emojis. Ugly ass boomer, you're an embarrassment to society, go kill yourself instead of wasting precious oxygen. Whoa. Pretty hefty. Must have said something really terrible, right? They said that anime were cartoons. They said anime was cartoons, and that's the response that they received. I, like, find it so fascinating the amount that people have separated, like, anime from, like, Western cartoons. Like, it is just Japanese cartoons. Anime literally is just, it just means animated. Like, I don't know if you were unaware of that. It's an animation. It's a cartoon. By definition, anime is a cartoon. They're just Japanese cartoons. Being that offended is absurd. Like, I want to know what offended you specifically. I just need to know what offended you specifically. Honestly, you know what, though? This is kind of like me as a teenager getting really mad when people called Five Sauce a boy band. So... I never told anyone to like die over it. I wasn't aggressive, but I was genuinely extremely offended and upset when people called Five Sauce a boy band. So, you know, maybe I understand it a little bit. I also, now looking back, understand that that was a little bit fucking ridiculous of me. But regardless of anything, not a reasonable response to anything, let alone genuinely just stating a fact. Like, why are you so protective of anime? What's wrong with it being called a cartoon? That's the other thing. Like, what's wrong with like, why does that offend you? What's the issue? I have vaped the goddess Belle Delphine's holy bathwater. It was an experience I will never forget. Video available on my channel. I love that this man not only vaped Belle Delphine's bathwater, which is... what? But he also made a whole video of him doing it. Like, that's such a weird thing. I can't imagine, like, who was watching that and for what purpose? I don't know who the target audience of this is. I'm like trying to figure out the target audience of a video of a man smoking Belle Delphine's bathwater, vaping Belle Delphine's bathwater. Because, like, the men who would buy Belle Delphine's bathwater I mean, I don't know, they're fucking weird. But like, they don't seem like the target audience to watch a man vape her bathwater. Like, surely they'd be the ones who would do the vaping. Like, why would they just go watch? So what are they gaining? Who is watching it? Why are they watching it? And like, why did you do it? So many questions. I don't really know how many answers I actually want. Leftism leaving people's bodies as soon as you ask them to be empathetic to lonely people and implement policies to make dating easier. Okay, what? I don't think people are unempathetic towards lonely people. I think people are unempathetic towards incels who bring loneliness upon themselves. And what do you mean, policies that make dating easier? What the fuck does that mean? What does that look like? What does that entail? What do you mean? Because like right now, dating is just free will. If I want to date you, I will. And if I don't, then I won't. Like what policies can come into play here that aren't just like kidnapping? I have some concerns, and my concerns are everything. And if this is your opinion and what you want to do, I understand why you're lonely, and you're right. I don't feel very much empathy for you because you seem to think that you have the right to take away women's free will to make dating easier for you. So, like, I don't feel bad for you because you don't view women as people. Suck it up and deal with being lonely until you sort your shit. Emergency gooning kit I made, just in case I need to goon immediately anywhere I am. Laptop and charger, pictures of goon sluts, ton of lube, fleshlight, earphones, and 6 terabytes worth of private goon material. So if it wasn't obvious, goon means like masturbation is what I gathered from the comments on this. And you just have this on you at all times? Like you can't control yourself during the day or like when you're out or whatever. Like this is a serious fucking problem. Oh my good God. And that's not even talking about the fact that, did you just say 6 terabytes? I'm trying to like fathom how you can have 6 terabytes of porn. Like 6 terabytes is an absolute absurd number to have of anything. Like anything. That's how many hours worth of video footage is 6 terabytes. I'm gonna have to Google this because I don't think I want to know. I'm gonna Google it anyway. So 1 terabyte of HD video is 500 hours. There's 6 of these. 3,000 hours. 3,000 hours. That's I don't really have words for that. Actually, as apparent by my complete silence for approximately like 2 minutes just now, I am just so fucking horrified by that. And you have this on you at all times. Like, that's not even, I don't know, is that legal? It should be. I think at most you need jail. At least you need rehab and extensive therapy. But like, given that this is something that you have on you at all times, whether or not this itself is illegal is irrelevant. I feel like jail is on the table for you because I don't trust you. God, I wish I was a plantation owner in the 1800s so I could legally own Nessa, whom seems to be like a black anime character. Holy shit. What a fucking insanely fucked up thing to say. To have that in your brain is horrifying. To type that out and tweet it publicly is just next fucking level. This has 4,800 likes too. These people are so scary. These people are genuinely fucking terrifying. Cause what? Fucking what? What? How a 10 out of 10 chick can go to a 1 out of 10 instantly. Use of profanity or vulgar language, any piercings, vapes, hugs the bouncer on a night out, skimpy clothes, over 500 followers on Instagram, tattoos, has a Twitter account, atheist, has a driver's license, can think for herself, cannot cook, knows what a barbell is, has been to more than 3 countries. So they're complaining about a loneliness epidemic and how no one wants to date them, right? And yet they have crossed off pretty much everyone except children. And we've been knew that, but it's like horrifying to like kind of have it spelt out, right? Like most adults are gonna use like profanity. Like most adults are swearing. Doing any piercings, a majority of people I know have their ears pierced at the very least. Like can think for herself, like feels like it has to be a fucking joke. But at the same time, I don't trust that it is. You don't want someone who can think, but you want someone who can cook, which kind of seems to counteract a little bit. Like this is just like, I want someone who has no bodily autonomy and has no knowledge of the outside world so that I can groom her and shape her into who I want her to be. Jail. 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 I don't care if nothing illegal has been done or has occurred. If this is your list of things a woman can't have, I don't trust you to exist. So straight to jail. Maybe that's too harsh, but I don't think it is. Why, as a grown-ass man, are you full-blown crying at your wedding? This shit is so corny, man. Why are you, as a grown-ass man, not crying at your wedding? I think that's the better question. I think that you should be crying at your fucking wedding because you should be happy and you should be emotional because you're about to, like, declare your love and spend a day with someone telling them how much you love them. Like, you don't have to cry at your wedding, obviously. Some people don't express themselves that way. But like that's to be expected, and I think that that is a very lovely thing. I think that if we're all crying at weddings, that's great. I cry at weddings in general. I've not gone to very many weddings, but like they make me cry because they're fucking beautiful. and I'm just a person in the seats, not even the one getting married. I would be a fucking wreck. I would be a wreck. And I know that I'm a woman, so they think that that's expected of me anyway. But like a lot of men are going to cry at their wedding, and I think they deserve that. I don't really know what's so corny about loving the person you're marrying. That's kind of what you're there for, no? This is an image about the men versus bear argument. So it's simple. We choose the bear every time because we are terrified of and don't trust most men. Is okay with men wearing a wig and dress using their bathroom. 69 Tinder notifications. Drugs. Parties, drinks, does drugs with men they barely know. Engages in casual sex / one night stands with men they've known less than a month. Doesn't use condoms. Primarily has guy friends. Trying to deliberately misunderstand it while also simultaneously kind of proving it, because here you're implying that like partying and doing drugs around men is putting them in danger because men are dangerous. Whereas guess what? If I'm doing drugs near a bear, they're like the same level of likeliness to harm me as they were before. Whether I'm sober or unsober, the threat of the bear remains the exact same. Whereas if I'm around a bunch of strange men, as you're implying here, they're much more likely to take advantage of me. So, proving there, bear better. And again, primarily has guy friends, goes on Tinder dates, etc. I'm choosing to be around those men. I am putting myself in the situation with those men. My guy friends, those are men I've already decided that I trust. The question isn't random bear and friend that I've known for 4 years. It's like, would you rather encounter just a random man or a random bear? Like, what I do in my personal life around men that I know and surround myself with is so irrelevant to the question. Don't even fucking try to pretend that it is the same thing. Don't even fucking try. I would rather a bear every fucking time. Like, no, without any fucking doubt. And like, this is an example I have of that, like a real world example, is that like a couple years back, me and Kat were back home in New Zealand and we went to do a walk, and it was recommended to do the walk at night. And we thought there were going to be like lights and whatever but there were not. And we started this trail and realized how fucking dark it was. And immediately we're like, I'm way too scared. I'm terrified of this. We need to turn back and go to the car because I'm not doing this walk in the dark. And the kicker here, you want to know? We don't have any predators. There are literally no predators in New Zealand. There are no bears. There are no venomous snakes. There's no venomous anything. No predators. It's just birds. This walk was nothing but birds. But you know what we did? We turned around and we fucking left because the idea of running into a man in there is the scariest shit in the fucking world. I'm turning away from the prospect of accidentally running into a man at nighttime. Every time. Anyway, it's fucking these men just deliberately misunderstanding everything and just using an excuse to call women stupid when they're the reason we're afraid in the first place. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Raven, Elias, Chris, Samuel, and Knitting Menace. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month and I appreciate it greatly. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes, you replace